Alrighty. Good morning, guys. How we doing? So, what are we doing today? What are we getting today? So, as you guys know, yesterday, right? Let's just talk about market for a little bit here while we wait for some people to get in. Yesterday we got pretty big volatility move, right? So pretty much a V-shaped recovery in the market. Big downside in the morning, and you got that recovery intraday. Now you are seeing a little bit of slippage here in the. Let's just go ahead and pull up the chart. I guess it probably makes it easier. So you got your big slip, right, intraday morning. Then you got your V-shaped recovery, and then you're getting a little bit of slide here in the. Aftermarkets and pre-market. Now, I'm not that concerned about the slide. I know you guys are, you see the number, right, on the Nasdaq. It says down 2%, which is about 300 points. But when you look at the chart, right, you're really just giving back some of the ridiculous move that we got. This is a ridiculous move, right? We're not going to hold that move. That move is not sustainable. This move on the market from 13.7 to 14.5, almost 800 points on the Nasdaq is not sustainable. You're not going to hold an 800-point move over a 2-3 hour period. So that's normal. This is normal. Now, this does not mean that the market is back to where it is, right? This does not mean that the market is going to head higher. What this means is this is the first day in a potential trend change. Now, that is what you need to wait for to see what happens today. Do we hold? The key to today, guys, is do we hold the lows? If we move back to the lows, do we hold the lows? Do we make a higher low today, day over day on the market? That is the big thing that you want to see today. If that does not happen, then you are back in the same exact trend that you are in, that you have been in. But this is the first day in how many days that you have seen a strong close and a potential for a higher low on this market. That is all that you want to see today. If you don't want to trade today, if you just want to see what the market does, that's the one thing that I am focusing on today. Does the market make a higher low today? Does it hold yesterday's lows? That is all that you want to look for. Now, that still doesn't mean that you're back in a good direction. But at least it's going to show you some type of trend change, some type of behavioral change in this market. Because as you guys know, every single day prior to yesterday, we just go ahead and push higher, and we make new lows in the day, right? That's just what we've been doing for almost 2 weeks now. So this is the first potential day that maybe, just maybe, you see a start of something like this. Now that's even if we get this move, right? You're still well off the highs and you still have a ton of resistance above, but maybe this is showing you some type of change in trend. That's, the first thing that comes to mind. Now, I'm not, there's no way that I'm saying we're bullish here. We're very far from it. But just the fact of seeing that type of change in the price action is definitely something that is interesting, right? It's something that I at least want to look at and understand what happened yesterday. That is the first day that we actually had a strong close. Second thing, which we will get into in this live stream, capitulation. If you guys are not aware what capitulation is, it's sort of when it's like that point where investors start giving up. They start selling shares for a loss, and they start, dipping out of stock. So here's the definition for anyone that is interesting, right? So capitulation is a word that you may hear on CNBC a lot. They talk about, you need to wait for a capitulation move, which is like sort of like indicating that we're maybe starting to see some dip buying and starting to see some opportunity back into the market to the upside. Capitulation is when investors give up any previous gains in a security or market by selling their positions during periods of decline. Capitulation can happen at any time, but typically happens during high volume trading and extended declines for securities. So capitulation is something that you want to look for. And yesterday, it gives you, I'm not saying that yesterday was the capitulation move, but if we go to the SPY, I want everyone to notice the volume yesterday on the SPY. I want everyone here to notice the volume yesterday on the SPY. Look at this volume. This is more volume that we have seen in a very long time. Let's see. Let's go back to March of 2020. This is the highest volume we have seen since the March 2020 downside move, right? It's the biggest volume increase that we have seen. So that's another thing that's interesting, right? The entire fall that we've seen was on pretty normal low volume. Yesterday, we finally saw a very, very large increase in volume, which is maybe indicating capitulation. So, just keep an eye on this. This is interesting to me. I'm not going to make bold claims. I don't think it's smart to make bold claims, guys. If you see people on YouTube or anywhere online making bold claims, it's probably not right to listen to them. You need to just continue to watch and see what happens. There's nothing else you can do besides watch and wait and see what happens. But I'll give you 2 things today to start this live stream. You need to hold yesterday's lows, and you need to see if this capitulation is what starts to get this market moving higher. But, you also have earnings, you have Jerome Powell, you have everything else in the way. So it's just a time of indecision still. I still don't think you make bold claims. Do I think you buy shares for the long term? Absolutely. I'll never disagree with that. So there you go. That's how we'll start this. There's a little bit of an idea of what I'm thinking and what I'm watching, but we'll dive a little bit deeper into it in today's live stream. Buying to stay gamma neutral? Yeah, maybe, Adam. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, we don't want to make any bold claims in this market. You take it day by day, and you see how this market reacts. You got Fed tomorrow. You got huge earnings this week. Still a lot of opportunities for downside. So we just wait. So today, futures as always on the stream, economic and earnings calendar. So pull up the economic calendar for you guys. Probably should start pulling that before the stream starts, but it is what it is. Tomorrow's the big day, right? Tomorrow's the big day. You got Tuesday today, not much. Home price index, nothing. I don't think. Consumer confidence index, maybe 10 o'clock causes some move, but nothing crazy here. Tomorrow is the big day, right? FOMC statement and Fed Chair Jerome Powell news. Those are the 2 big moves tomorrow. Very, very large, very interesting and very important words to be said. We got to see what Jerome Powell has to say about the recent changes since their December minutes, right? December meeting, I'm sorry. So we'll see what that is tomorrow. That's at 2 o'clock. As always, expect volatility. We'll see what the reaction is. Then you got earnings calendar. Today, this morning, you had American Express. You can see right here. So this morning, American Express, GE, Verizon, J&J. Actually, some very nice words coming out of American Express, which is making me interested. We'll talk about that later. Microsoft after hours. That is going to be huge for the tech stocks. Whatever Microsoft says here is going to affect, how, Microsoft after hours today is going to move other stocks in the after hours. Just make sure you know that. Tesla, Wednesday, tomorrow after close. And then Apple, huge, Thursday. Thursday after close, right? So some big earnings this week, guys. It's going to be very important. Tesla is going to be reporting during or right after the Fed reports their meeting. So it's going to be some craziness in the market, and that would make me want to stay very risk adverse, guys. very, very risk adverse. All right. So capitulation, we talked about that a little bit. Just, look out for that huge volume, which we're starting to see, which is something that's very interesting, right? You're starting to see some really big volume come into this market. the biggest in over 2 years, the biggest single day volume in almost 2 years. So very interesting. Nvidia, that's definitely a stock that I am dip buying myself with shares. Definitely going to watch that thing over the next, week, 2 weeks, month and a half. See how this thing starts to hold around that 230 level that we talked about. Tesla, 855 level, rock solid yesterday. That is just a very key level on the chart, right? You do not want to see Tesla back below 855. Of course, you have earnings coming up, so I'd probably leave it alone until then. But that is a level that I'm watching. I'll share it with you guys today. Netflix, a very similar hold after their huge downside on earnings, holding that 380 level. Another very interesting level on the chart. American Express, Visa, and MasterCard. I think these stocks may perform today. I'm not solid, but American Express came out, we'll talk about it in a second, and said that they saw record spending on their earnings. Record spending. They boost their forecast for credit card spending, and they had a nice beat on the top and bottom line. So if credit card spending is increasing, I would have to assume that Visa and MasterCard are moving higher today, if that move holds up. That is my assumption. I would be very surprised to see other credit card processors not get some type of sympathy off of an American Express, the words that they said on their earnings. Now, of course, if the market falls today, guys, those aren't going to hold up. If there's any sympathy on the market today, then I would watch those two. We'll talk about them today. Facebook held 300. Yesterday, I traded Facebook puts off of the 300 rejection. Very nice win, actually. But it did end up going through it after we got that big move on the Nasdaq. That is an interesting level, in my opinion. Qualcomm. I've been trying to look for a Qualcomm downside play for about a week now, and it just does not happen. It just does not happen. Qualcomm continues to hold up. It's a very strong stock. So we're going to take a look at Qualcomm. And then finally, Microsoft reports earnings after hours today. I figured it'd be good if we looked at Microsoft as well. So those are some of the stocks that we're going to look at. And then we'll go over what the members want to look at. If you guys want to become a member of the YouTube channel, you can press that join button down below and you get access to our Google Docs where we put in all of the tickers that we want to look at for the day. So far we got Snap and Carvana. So if you guys are a member of the stream, member of the channel, make sure to put in your tickers there. Let's go ahead and get started. If you guys can take a second, press the like button. Let's do this. All right. Daily chart on, I need to start getting more time here. I don't like just looking at a year. I like looking at more. So here's the last 3 years on the Nasdaq. Here is what we're looking at right now. We're well below the 100, well below let's pull up the 200 because I know we're well below that as well. But let's at least keep that on our charts here, the 200 SMA. 200 SMA. All right, there's your 200. So what did we do yesterday? I think what we tried to do yesterday was we tried to hold 14,000. I'm thinking that was like sort of the line in the sand yesterday. I think the market wanted to get back above 14. I think 14 is a very big level to watch today, guys. 14,000 psychological level. We're about 160 points above it right now. Do we pull back at open and do we hold 14,000 intraday? I'm definitely going to be watching that because that is a big key level here on the Nasdaq. 14,000 psychological. And you have this previous double top here from back in April and into May. So I'm going to watch 14,000 today. That's going to be an interesting level to watch. After that, you just really are going to watch the lows, guys. After 14,000, if we zoom in here on today's price action, yesterday and today, after this 14,000 level where we had that little triple bottom here, where the inverse head and shoulders sort of built. You guys can see right here, right? You see where that inverse head and shoulders sort of built right here? That was right at 14K. So 14K is the level to watch. If you find support there, that would be a good higher low, right? That would be a good higher low. If you can make a bounce off 14K today, that would be a good higher low. But that is what I would be watching in the first place. And then, of course, like I said earlier, the key is just not to break yesterday's lows. If we break yesterday's lows, then we are back in the cycle of just downside and rejections, right? Because you definitely do not want to see a break of that 13,700 area. If you see that, if the market starts to just die today, and this was just a big trap, then that's going to be ugly if we do move below that 13.7. So 14,000 and 13.7. Those are two levels I'd watched at the downside. And then yesterday, we didn't ever quite really make it above previous highs. So that would be the level I would watch, right? So right around this 14.5 area, right here, right around 14.5. That's your upside resistance. So here's your little channel today: 14,000, 13.7, and then 14.5. There's your channel. If you see this move today, guys, I gotta believe there's some type of momentum in this market for the short term. If you see this type of move, if you start to see a higher high be built, we haven't had a higher high in at least 2 weeks. So if you do get a higher high, I would expect a little bit of momentum. So 14.5 and 14,000. That's the range that I'm watching today in the Nasdaq. Didn't some people always tell us that all of the rate hikes were built into the market? So why now? The so-called panic? It's just emotion and speculation. And the market was moving higher off low interest rates. 0% interest rates. So this is just normal market downside, guys. This is what happens. This is the nature of the market. This is what you have to understand and have to expect when you get yourself into the market. These periods will always happen, whether you think it's right, whether you think it's wrong. This is always going to occur in this market, and you have to plan for these moves, guys. Like if you're investing in the market without any idea of the possibility of this, you're just not managing risk correctly. You always have to plan for something like this. No matter how good the market looks, no matter how strong everything is moving higher, you always have to plan for a big move to the downside. That is just very, very important. And it's key to survival, right? This stuff is always going to happen. So that's the Nasdaq, 14,000, 14.5. That's the range I would watch, and keep an eye on that today. ES. So the ES is a little bit more interesting, right? Because you're sort of at a key level, right? You're sort of, you bounced off this 4,300 level on the ES. So you guys can see humongous volume on the ES yesterday, just biggest in 2 years, really large volume. And, you got to see, do you hold this range, 42.70 to 43.25. Remember, we made this range yesterday on the live stream, right? So this is the range to watch. And if we go down to the 5-minute, you guys can see we held that range pretty nicely. So you moved lower, you sort of held in that range, and you moved out of it. Now, what happens today? The same exact thing, guys. Here's the key today. Do you break the lows? And if you do, that is not good. That is nasty. If you break the lows, then we're going down. Absolutely. If you hold the lows today and you somehow, either stay sideways, you consolidate sideways, or if you by some chance, by the grace of God, see a higher high be built, this is somewhat of a trend change. I'm not saying it is a strong trend change. I'm not saying you go and buy call options for next week. That's just foolish. This is something that we just have to watch the behavior of the market. A higher high today, over yesterday's highs, maybe around, either this level here around 43.80 or around 44.12. That is a change in behavior on this market because we have not seen a higher high in about 2 weeks. So that's the key. Like I said earlier, right? You either get a hold of previous lows or a break above yesterday's highs. And you need to see, which direction do we move there. So that's what I'm watching today. Watching this range here that I have on the daily chart. You guys can see right here. Daily chart range. This is your demand. Here's the demand, the green zone you can see. You can see the green zone here on the 5-minute. watching that green zone today, seeing how we react here, and then seeing if we get that push over highs or if we're looking to break the lows. That is what is important to me. Dow, so whatever this level is, I'm not sure what it is, but it is holding very nicely this morning. So let's really take a quick look and see what is this level that I have on my chart, because it is holding very nicely. Yeah, look at this. So here's the Dow, guys, and this level here, which is a quadruple bottom, whatever you want to call it. I don't think that's really a technical term, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's actually a I don't even know what it's called. Synqueple? I'm not sure. But a 5, what is a 5? What is 5 is sin, right? CIN. So whatever 5 is, there's your 5 bottom. Just really a demand zone here, right? A zone of previous support that is trying to hold again. So here's your here it is on the 5-minute chart. All right, so here it is on the 5-minute chart. Look what it's doing to it this morning. You guys can see a push higher, a pull back. You're trying to hold that 5 bottom there, that very strong support level. It's quint, that's right. Quintuple. I'm an idiot. Thank you. Quintuple. Sorry, it's early, guys. So the quintuple bottom on the Dow. There you go. The quintuple bottom on the Dow. But yeah, so anyways, you guys know there's support there, and look at what it's doing here this morning. So very interesting. Do you hold that, and do you make a higher high today, or do you break that and move to the lows, right? That is all I am interested in today. That is really all that I care about. That's all I'm interested for the overall market. Besides that, maybe I'll trade some intraday volatility, but that is all that I care about in the longer term view for the market in general. Is which direction are we getting? Are we going to create lower highs or higher lows on the overall markets, or are we going to slip back to low of day? That is it. So that's what I'm watching today. That's on the Dow, the ES, and the Nasdaq, all very similar. Just looking to see what occurs on this day. Here's the Russell. I don't know, guys. I'm not a good Russell guy. I'm not the right guy to talk about the Russell. I don't know how the Russell holds up. This is a very tough level. I don't see much support in this area for the Russell. I really do believe that it probably needs to slip down to this 1700 to really be strong, because this would just be a very strange level for it to hold. There's really nothing here. It's just a very strong move to the upside back in October and November of 2020. So we'll see what happens. I would stay away from the small caps. I don't think there's any reason to be interested in small caps in this market, guys. Small caps have, questionable revenue. They have high, PEs. They're questionable names. They're hype names, and I don't know. I don't like to be focused on small caps in this market. I don't think it's being ran by the small caps. I know, of course, it will have effect on the market, but when the small caps go sideways for almost a year and a half, it's lost my interest. So I'm just gonna stay away from the small caps. But either way, this looks like it needs to move lower. In my opinion, this is just a big area and a void in volume that I believe needs to probably see some downside. All right, so that's the futures, guys. To sort of wrap up the futures, yesterday's highs and yesterday's lows. Which one do we move down towards today? That's my key. That's what I'm watching for. I don't have any positions, that are large bets in either direction. I'm just waiting to see what happens. I'm not going to try to, time this market. I'm going to buy shares, and I'm going to look for intraday volatility to trade until I see something that piques my interest, maybe for a bounce or some type of relief on this market. Until then, I keep it very risk adverse, and I keep it very chill, and I protect my capital. Something that a lot of people that just don't know, won't accept in trading is something called protecting your capital, right? People just want to make money every single day. They want to be millionaires. And those people do not know how to protect their capital. So I would protect your capital. It's probably a good idea. All right. Nvidia. So Nvidia was one of the larger bounces on the market yesterday, right? Nvidia moved almost, one of the largest moves back to the upside yesterday. Now, why did it do that? I think it was just because it moved down to a insanely key level, right? I mean, we've called Nvidia to a T here on the live stream. I mean, this thing is just doing exactly as we please at this point. So, we talked about Nvidia to 230 back here, perfect 230 tap. I'm sorry, 230's up here. But we talked about this 208, 210 level here on the stream. We did move a little bit lower past 230. So we got that break below 230 and flushed down to 208, 210. Yesterday, we quickly popped back above 230, in that area. Right now, we're at 224 in the pre-market. We closed at 233. So we got that pretty nice bounce. We bounced off this support right here. Top, resistance. A very nice bounce off of that previous resistance at 208, 210. Big volume on the push, pushing back above. What I need to see on this market, which I'm not, by no means do I think this is a smart buy for someone that has a short-term horizon. Is Nvidia a good buy for someone with a 15, 30-year horizon? Absolutely. If you're not trying to time this market and you just have time on your hands, this is definitely a pullback that I would be interested in buying. This is a 38% pullback on a stock like Nvidia. Put all of the BS aside. Put all of the panic aside. Put all of the speculation aside. If you get a 38% drop on a stock like Nvidia, there has to be opportunity there. So that is that's my belief. I'm buying shares. I'll dollar cost average into this thing for the rest of my life. And hopefully it pays off. On a stock like Nvidia, I'm very happy to do so. The abandoned acquisition of ARM may actually be good. I'm not saying it's good, but it's a lot of money that they don't have to spend. So I wouldn't be just like doom and gloom about them abandoning that. I'm not sure the reaction that you'll see. Sierra, what was it? You posted it this morning. $40 million back on the Nvidia's balance sheet. So, I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, 208 area. Today, it looks like you're sort of rejecting that 230. So, if you go to 230, you guys can see you starting to reject that area. So, basically, what I would be watching, guys, today is, does Nvidia hold yesterday's lows? I mean, this is going to be everything that I talk about in today's live stream. So, I'm sorry if I'm repetitive here. But basically everything on today's live stream is going to be about, does the market hold yesterday's lows? Because what if the market does this, right? What if the market does a little break, a retest of previous highs, and we start to get this type of change in direction? I'm not sure that happens, but that is the thing. That's what I'm looking for. You can see if you move back to yesterday's lows, things are not going to be pretty. So it's really just about that today, guys. It's really just about that. It's about, do we break yesterday's highs or do we hold yesterday's lows? That is all that I am really concerned about. That's all you need to be watching. It makes it quite easy today. And why do I say that? Because you have your very easy guardrails today. Are we going to reject yesterday's highs and move back lower? Or are we going to, fall below yesterday's lows? It makes it very, very easy. So that's what I'm watching on Nvidia, 208, 233 area. And then, of course, I continue to buy shares of this thing because I believe this is a fantastic discount on Nvidia, a stock that is going to be in so much demand if when technology evolves in the future. That's some interesting stuff. If you believe that like technology is going to stop, in the future, and you think the world's going to go into like a recession for 50 years, and technology will stop advancing. All the need for chips that Nvidia create are going to stop. You're being a little bit too pessimistic in my opinion. So I don't see how Nvidia's demand is going to slow down in the future. And I think this is a fantastic opportunity, even if it drops another 20%. Nvidia, Tesla. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying there has to be a reversal here. It doesn't matter. It makes no difference. What I'm telling is you got to take advantage of these pullbacks on long-term time horizon plays. So Tesla, you guys can see double bottom. Look at this. Look at this level here at 854. Remember we talked about this level here on the stream. Let's go to the 4-hour. You can see right here. You guys remember this 854 level that we talked about? So it looks like we came right. Oh man, we really got that one good. And I wish I took this because I was watching this too at the time. I did not take it. I was looking for a little scalp off this 850 area, but we got that push. We're starting to see a little bit of slippage, obviously, this morning. Still looks like it's in a very big downtrend. I'm not by any means saying that this market moves higher today. Basically, what I will say about daily charts on the daily chart on Tesla is when we see these upside wicks, there is a tendency for this to continue. So here's a wick, right? You get a little continuation. Here's a wick, continuation. You get some wicks, continuation. Big wick here, couple days of continuation. You get a big wick here, big continuation. Here's a wick as well. So I'm very interested in, does this wick create a little bit of continuation? I'm not saying it has to cause, back to the highs, but I'm saying, do we get something here of continuation after this very strong daily candle wick? Big volume, right off the 850 level. I'm interested. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I am very interested to see if there's any opportunity to the upside today. I think you get a break. If you get a break over this 930 level, if you break yesterday's highs, you get a push. Now, it's the same exact thing as everything else I talked about today, guys. You watch yesterday's highs and you watch yesterday's lows, and you see how this thing trades in between. That is what I would be watching. So that's Tesla, 855 lows, 935 highs. Those are the levels I'd be watching today. Netflix. So after its big destruction, Netflix has sort of slipped, but overall stayed around this 830 area, right? On the weekly chart, you guys can see, here's the weekly chart on Netflix, and we are back to 2019 levels on Netflix. 2019 levels here at 380. Double top right here. You can see actually it's a triple top right there, and you're trying to hold that level, right? You're trying to hold in this 830 level. I'll tell you the honest truth. The first thing that comes to mind is that there's opportunity for upside here, but you just can't get ahead of something like this. That is the worst thing you can do. Getting ahead of a move like this is the worst thing you can do, because you'll get ahead of it and then you'll see it slip, and you'll probably have that tendency not to sell it. So you just cannot get ahead of this move. The high of this candle, which is 409.15. 409.15 right here. Let me zoom in. So the high of this candle right here, which is the day after earnings, is 409.15. Why did I write? There we go. 409.15. So I believe that would be the area that I would want to see Netflix get back above. For this 409, 410 area. That would be the area that I would wait to see if there's any push above. If there is, and this thing actually starts moving into this gap, I have to believe there's something here, something of opportunity, on this huge gap down. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen anytime soon. You might just continue to slip here on Netflix, but I am interested. This is a stock that I continue to watch now. Now, why am I watching Netflix? It's because it's a stock that's had a recent very large catalyst, and there's a lot of eyes on it. So I want to make sure I'm watching this. I want to make sure I'm aware of what's going on Netflix, because there could be some very nice trading plays. So 380 is an area I'm watching. Of course, you don't want to break yesterday's lows. That's key. And then I'm just going to keep an eye on this 410 area. Trying to watch this 410 area. If this 410 area starts to show some weakness, if we start to see a nice push through it, on maybe a Nasdaq that miraculously does a little bit of a bounce, guys, I know everyone's bearish right now, and I know it's very easy for us all to understand that the market could obviously go lower, and I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I totally agree that this market could go lower, but you also cannot just totally ignore the fact that there could be bounces along the way, right? You can't ignore the fact that there could be bounces that are unexpected along the way that could, give you some opportunity and could also burn you if you are too biased in one direction. So we need to stay liquid here, like Mr. TNT likes to say. We need to stay like water here. You need to stay vigilant, and you need to see if there's any signs of either a bounce or more downside. This is a time to stay very neutral. Even though it seems like this is a time to be ultra bearish, I can guarantee you at the end of the day, whoever is ultra bearish in this market is going to lose money if there's a bounce. And I don't want to see, people get caught in an ultra bearish situation and get caught in a bounce. Like if you were buying puts yesterday because you're like, oh, that's it. This market's donezo. We're going down to 10,000 on the Nasdaq. If you were buying puts with the idea of holding these things until end of week, you are down right now very bad. And you might hold on because you think this is going to slip again. But you're going to be, you are definitely down on realized. So anyone holding SPY puts that bought between 11:40 and morning yesterday and did not sell because they were too stubborn and too bearish, I'm not saying you are going to be, I'm not saying you're going to lose money because this could easily move lower. But if this moves higher and it starts to do this, what are you going to do? So you just need to stay very vigilant here. You need to stay very very unbiased because this market can do things that you do not expect. You're down on both, if you bought calls from the lows, you're not down. No, not at all. You guys think that the Nasdaq is down from the lows. It's not, guys. A lot of people I see this morning are freaking out about this drop in the pre-market, guys. We are still $10 off the lows on the QQQ. So if you guys bought, calls in here, you're still going to be up. If you bought calls at high a day, then that's your own fault. It's no one's fault but yourself. If you started to buy, QQQ calls anywhere, in this 340, 342, 341, 334, 337, 336, if you bought it all in here, you're going to be up today. This futures market, there's a lot of people, I know it shows a scary number, guys, but we are well off the lows still. We are still well off the lows this morning. I'm not saying that that's bullish, but, you got to understand, we're still about 400 and 500 points off the lows, even though the futures says down 310. So don't forget that. So next, American Express. So this morning, they reported earnings. Reports higher Q4 earnings, net revenue, Unreal's new growth plan. That's good words. These are very good words to be coming out of American Express. Stocks gains as earnings top expectations amid record growth spending. Boosts forecasts as credit card spending sets record. That is interesting stuff. That is interesting stuff to hear from American Express. 2.18 versus 1.87 EPS and 12.41 versus 11.5 billion sales. So, let's see. Those are good numbers from AXP. We'll see if there's any sympathy on this move. And I'm sort of interested in, we're at a nice support level. We're at sort of we're getting close to that demand area around 150. So I'm interested to see what happens. But more than anything, I'm interested to see what Visa and MasterCard do today. Because these usually move in sympathy, or in correlation. They are sympathy moves. So you got Visa down here at 194, 195, and you got MasterCard, down here at support as well at 340 area. So I'm very interested to see what happens here on these two names today. I would keep an eye on them. This is not like my top watch of the day. This is not like a huge, this is not like a huge watch that I'm going to definitely trade, but it's something that I would at least, if you guys want to stay tuned with the market, keep an eye on some of these payment processors. American Express had very good earnings, and Visa, MasterCard could move as well. So keep those on watch today. Facebook, Meta. Yeah, American Express will not hold up. Yeah, sure. I don't make those types of claims. It's just not. it's not really, I try to, I'll try my best to try to get people's mindsets to be neutral, and, and just like I may think stuff may go down, but I'll never like make myself believe so strictly in one direction. It is just it's a very bad thing for trading. Like I'll never think only one way. Maybe American Express doesn't hold up because the macro picture is unhealthy. But on the flip side, maybe it does hold up because they had great earnings, and maybe the market finds some type of reason to recover here, and American Express moves higher. Why is that so not? Why is that so wrong? That opinion versus it not holding up, right? You have to stay neutral. Facebook 300. You guys can see you have a resistance, a support, a support, a support, and a support, right? So 300 is a big level. That is a very, very large level. So I'm going to keep an eye on 300. Yesterday, I did trade Facebook to the downside. I'll show you guys where. I just traded it right here. So I traded this on the voice chat in the Discord. We caught this trade right here. You guys can see we got a push into 300. We got a push into 300 on Facebook, right? You guys can see it right there. I was watching this all morning. I do regret it slightly because I missed a move on Tesla because I was watching this Facebook move, and I did miss out on a Tesla move, unfortunately. But we got that push into 300. Look at the wicks that started to come in. You guys see the wicks that started. Look at the rejection that started to come in. And I went ahead and I caught this thing to the downside. A very nice little scalp to the downside off a 300 rejection. And this entire plan for a 300 rejection came from the pre-market, right? Came from the pre-market live streams that we do every single morning. We were at this 300 level. We cracked below it in the pre-market. And I was looking for a push. We got that push lower. I was looking for the push higher, the rejection, and the play back to the downside. We talked about this yesterday, caught it very nicely. So that was nice. Now, we need to see 300 hold as support here, right? If you drop back below 300 here, you are no good here, right? You're no good. You're going back down. So Facebook 300 is a very key level. I think it's interesting to watch. Watch the lows, watch the highs, and then watch this 300 support. That 300 goes all the way back to here, right? That's a big level on this chart. So watch 300 today on Facebook, guys. See if it holds that level. And then you have your highs and lows of previous day to watch as well. Qualcomm. I've been trying to play this to the downside, and I just keep getting chopped up. Yesterday, I think I took an $80 loss on a play on Qualcomm. Yeah, so yesterday, took an $82 loss on Qualcomm. If you guys are not aware, here's my and I'll make a video where I did it on my story for it's live. Some people are not going to believe that this is live, but I made a video on my story. So this is my swing trading account so far this month, up $4,300, and then my scalping account is up only $1,000. So a little bit slow. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see all of this live. If you don't want to follow me there, then that's your own fault if you don't believe me. But so far, a good month. But, I'm trying to see if I can take some bigger opportunities out there, but we're just not really getting them as much, and I'm not as comfortable as I'd like to be in this market. I even said that in our trading journal on the Discord. Just got a call. On the Discord, we have a trading journal where we sort of talk about what we did right, what we did wrong. Just talking about how I still don't really have the confidence or conviction to scale up on my scalp trades. It's just been a really difficult time for scalping for anything with the volatility and 1 second things can go one direction, the next it can go the next direction. So just been sort of not confident to take on a large size recently. So I'm just playing what I am comfortable with, right? I'm playing with what I'm comfortable with, and I don't really care what anyone says about it. That is, at the end of the day, guys, you need to do what you want to do. whether you're someone like me that publicly, talks about some of the things they're doing and ideas, or if you're just trading by yourself, you got to stick to what you're comfortable with. You can't let distractions get to you. You can't let things change. It's your money. This is real money, your money. And trading what you're comfortable with is so key. Something to remember. So Qualcomm, 165, big level here, right, from the past, and we just continue to hold it. It just will not give up. I tried to play it to the downside yesterday, took an $80 loss. It bounced on me, just like the entire market, right? So got that push higher. We're coming back down today. If I go into the shorter term view, you can see we're coming back down today. But 165 is still a very interesting level, and Qualcomm has been a beast of a stock. It just has not given up. Now, I would like to. You gotta follow my business account on Instagram, not my personal account. It's on the bottom left of your screen. Options Insider, bottom left of your screen. You'll see my Instagram. That is the account you want to follow. I don't have people follow my personal account, guys. It's personal. It's not really necessary to follow me there unless I know you. I do not have a course, Scott. 150 is where I would like to see this back to, and I'd also like to see it back to this 140 area. This is a huge gap fill that I want to take advantage of, but I just can't. It's just not happening, and I have to accept that. So unfortunately, it's not looking like it's going to happen unless today we start to really break down, maybe down below yesterday's lows, which you can see just held rock solid here. So I'm watching the 165, the 158, and then the highs of 170. But Qualcomm overall, guys, has just been an incredibly strong name. It really has held up really nicely. So keep an eye on that one. Maybe some outperformance. Microsoft reports earnings today after hours. This is big, guys. This is big. Sort of, yeah, you're on the course now. Exactly. You're getting it for free. This is a very big thing for the market. And it's not so much about how they did last quarter. It is all about what Microsoft says about what they believe for the future. This is going to be massive. It's going to definitely move some stocks. You're going to see movement on Apple, on Google, on, big tech names. You're going to, you guys have to follow my business account, not my personal account. So it's okay. It's okay, Barrett. 280, you guys can see 280 hold on Microsoft. I like that. I want to see if there's any push higher. I'm not going to touch Microsoft. I have a lot of shares. I have earnings coming up. I'm not touching it. I'm not trading it through earnings. That's just dumb. I'll hold my shares, see what happens, play the continuation. Just know that this is important. This is very important for the market. Let's see what Microsoft has to say later today. All right. Press the like button. Subscribe to the channel, first of all. Let's go and quickly go over some stocks that the members want to look at today. We went over Tesla already. Go back on the stream. Sentinel. What is this? Sentinel. I don't know what. Oh, Sentinel 1. Okay. Sentinel 1. Sorry, guys. I'm just a bad reader this morning. I don't like anything about this. I don't know anything about the company. Chart looks really bad. I would just look to see if it can get back above 43. If you can't get above 43, you're just stuck here, right? You need to get above this previous resistance to see upside. You need to see that push above 43 on Sentinel 1. Home Depot. I like how it came back. Yesterday was a monster day for Home Depot. I remember looking at that in my M1 account because I have a lot of shares there. But a nice little bounce off this 340 area, right? Isn't that interesting? You guys see this 340 area? So I'm definitely interested. I mean, I'm going to buy Home Depot. I'm going to buy a crap load of Home Depot. I'm buying more today. I have more cash in my M1 account today to go ahead and buy some more shares. I'm very excited about this dip on Home Depot. If you think Home Depot is going anywhere, you should go move out of the country or something. because you clearly don't know what Home Depot does. Home Depot is going to be around forever. People are going to forever, do DIY, need stuff for their houses, need stuff in general. Home Depot is an absolutely killer stock. This is a fantastic pullback, and I'm actually very excited to buy this. 20% pullback on Home Depot. I think this is a stock that is going to be safer than tech and is still going to return gains for you. So very nice hold at 340. That's what I would want to see. Macy's. We're getting into Macy's, huh? Is that where we're going here? Macy's moved higher because of Kohl's. And Kohl's, I don't know why it moved higher. Some reason that I really could care less about. I could care less about this move, but that's why Macy's moved higher. If you want to trade it, go ahead. It's just a volatility move. XLE, very nice little retest of this 20 SMA, and you're starting to get that support back at these previous highs around 60. So this looks actually sort of nice, doesn't it? You got a break and retest, $60 hold, 20 SMA hold. You just want to see this have a little bit of continuation, right? See what energy does today. But yeah, that's a nice move. That is a nice retest. As long as you hold above 60, that is something that I would keep an eye out for. AbbVie. Yeah, I mean, AbbVie was a pretty strong stock yesterday as well, right? I think did you get some strength on healthcare? Yeah, you had a big day on healthcare. So AbbVie, Kohl's is getting bought out. Okay, yeah, great. AbbVie, you got a little hold here at 130s, right? You got a little 130 hold. And this thing doesn't want to give up either, right? I've been talking about this to the downside as well, but it just doesn't want to give up either. I believe that AbbVie should see some downside to fill this large move, but that is solely just not happening right now. So I would watch, this 130 area, which is where it's finding some really solid support. You guys can see right around this area. Watch yesterday's lows, of course, around the 128s. See how it does in the 130, 131s. This is a key area for AbbVie. You can see right in this area. So watch this 130. We got JP Morgan. How did the banks do? I mean, this is going to be more about a move on the financials. I'm not so in tune with the financials. I got to be honest. Financials have been a very hard move to trust and to learn. I just don't trade those stocks. I'm not hostile towards it, CK. I'm just not interested in those moves. So that's all. I'm not a believer in focusing on smaller names like that. You might get some big opportunities, you might catch some big ones, but overall, I think the way to be sustainable is to focus on stocks that give you a lot more consistency on the charts, a lot less hype around events. I think it's very hard to trade like that. So I'm not being hostile towards it. I know people make a lot of money in it, but that is just something I do not like to watch. I don't like to I don't like to go and I'm focused on Apple and then I get pulled away because oh my God, Kohl's is getting a short squeeze. I'm just not that interested in that. It's too much. It's too much. So JP Morgan has a big level here at 147. I wouldn't touch this to the upside until you break that 147. I would not touch this to the upside until you break this 147. Because this is going to turn into some very, very nasty resistance right here. It's going to turn into really nasty resistance here at 147. So watch out for that. All right, we got two more, and I got to get out of here. FLWS Flowers, 1-800-Flowers. I don't know, guys. Are you that interested in investing in a stock called 1-800-Flowers, the company that ships out flowers to your ex-girlfriend? I always, I'm not hating on anything, guys. If you come to my channel, you're going to get my honest opinion. If you come to my channel, if you're here watching my channel, you're going to get my honest opinion. I don't fake things because, oh my God, everyone's talking about Kohl's and Macy's. Maybe I should make a video on it to make sure I get some more views on my channel. That's not who I am. And here's my next honest opinion. Stop looking at 1-800-Flowers. There's absolutely no reason to be watching this stock. There's no reason to be watching this stock. You should be watching Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, AMD, Tesla, Google. What else? Facebook, MasterCard, Amazon, Shopify, Boeing, Home Depot, Etsy. Stocks that actually make money. I'm not so sure you should be watching 1-800-Flowers. So that's my honest opinion. I apologize to anyone that put that. I'm not attacking you. I'm just giving you honest advice. And if you don't like it, some people don't like to hear that, but I'm giving honest, truthful advice. Do not try to trade 1-800-Flowers. Shopify, I think this is going to go down as one of the best opportunities, I think, to ever buy Shopify, in my opinion. I'm not buying it right now because I'm a little bit scared of Shopify. I will 100% be honest with you. I am sort of scared of Shopify. It's just like that beast in the corner that wants to rip you apart. So I'm not investing in Shopify here, but I think this has got to be an opportunity for anyone that loves Shopify, right? I paid for your Patreon account. I don't have a Patreon. I don't know what Patreon is. I have no Patreon. If I have a Patreon out there, it's not me. I can take. Do you want to email me? You emailed me, Doug? All right, I'll take a look, Doug. I'm sorry. I don't have a Patreon account. So I'll take a look at what your email is. I apologize for any. I'll refund you the money if it's, even though it didn't come to me. If it's like $5-10, I'll send it to you. I don't want that to upset you. But yeah, I don't have a Patreon account, guys. I may have to look into that. So this is a very large 50% drop on Shopify. That's massive. 50% drop on a stock like Shopify is gotta be an opportunity. I mean, it screams opportunity to me. 50% drop on a stock like Shopify. That stock's not going anywhere. So, I mean, there might be some, slowdown in its name. You might start to see a little bit of chop here for a few months. I don't know if Doug is, you just sent the same exact message. I'll check it out, Doug. I'll check your email. I'm not sure. You shouldn't, if you paid for my Discord, still haven't gotten a link. When you pay for the Discord, you automatically get an email sent from LaunchPass. If you put in the wrong email address, that could be what happened. A lot of people mistype their emails, guys. If you sign up for anything online, make sure to put your email correctly, because a lot of people will put the wrong email in, and they like, where's my email? Well, it's because you spelled it wrong. So Shopify, watching this for upside, let's just give this some time. Let's give this a little bit of time, but this has got to be an opportunity, right? 50% downside on Shop, got to be an opportunity. I'll check my email, Doug. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. If you guys could take 1 second out of your day and press the like button. We had 1,000 people in here. We only have 300 something likes. Can we get to 500-600 likes? That'd be great. Thank you guys so much for all the support. I hope you guys enjoy I hope I don't come across negative. I hope I, give honest advice, and I'm not someone that's going to, hype you up about something that I think you might be doing that is wrong. I'm not going to hype up stocks that are not good companies that are just pushing higher. I'm going to be honest with you, and I think that's something that a lot of people need. I believe in that. I take constructive criticism very well. Even in my corporate life from my father, whenever he would give me like real criticism, I would take it the right way. So I hope you guys take, anything I say that's slightly aggressive as a good learning lesson. You may not agree with me, but at least think about what I'm talking about. I hope you enjoy it. Hope you guys, enjoy the live streams. If you guys would like to join the Discord chat, down below, link in the bio. If you want to buy some Options Insider merch, buy the merch. Check that out down below. First link in the description, I believe. You guys can buy the merch. It's a quarterly merch. You got transitory was transitory, trends is your friend, and take profits. And then you also got the desk mat. This thing's badass, man. I love looking at this thing every day. It really is badass. So shout out to Soli who created this for us. So yes, check that out, guys. Press the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.